is the youth program, and me and Vindhya are part of this program. And we will be presenting a short presentation on counting our blessings, because we are so blessed to be a part of the Sai committee and be living in Canada. So hopefully you enjoy that. Thank you.
Thank you all, Om Shri Sai Ram. As I walked in today to celebrate Swami's birthday with everyone, I couldn't help but notice the excitement in the Balvikas children. You know, they were getting dressed to perform a play, they were lovingly encouraged by their parents and their gurus. You know, I heard things like, go and wow the audience. You know, beta, please do not forget to eat anything. And most of all, please do not forget your lines. You know, practice makes perfect, doesn't it? You know, for children growing up in Canada, these things are evident. You know, these are things that we have become accustomed to. We see our schools nurturing the creative intelligence of the next generation in a loving environment. We see our communities banding together both in times of celebration and in times of hardship. But these truths to life in Canada are often taken for granted. We have first-class schools, we have the abundance of food, we have great hockey teams, and we also have all the other basic necessities and comforts of life. Yet there are times where we feel dissatisfied. We feel that sense of dissatisfaction, and we do not appreciate the good and comfortable life that Swami has blessed us with. Outside Canada, that's not necessarily the case. Let me introduce you to Omran, a 5-year-old child who has become the face of the Syrian civil war. This photo was taken just 3 months ago, after an airstrike in Aleppo. He was treated in an underground hospital because the critical healthcare infrastructure in the city had been destroyed by the war. Think about this. An ambulance coming outside to take the kid to the hospital, transported on a stretcher down the ramp into an emergency room the size of a small room. Yet this child did not speak, did not cry, and he survived.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm alone. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home.
I believe every child deserves a safe and secure childhood, free from violence and fear. But for millions of children around the world, war is the only constant they've ever known. The innocence of childhood replaced by gunshots, bombs, violence. There is an organization called War Child. I wonder if these words should ever be used together. This is the reality of youth caught in crossfires and senseless violence. Many seen their families die before their eyes, too young to even understand. As reported by War Child, and I quote, "We are currently facing the worst refugee crisis in the history, with 65 million people displaced and numbers rising every day." At the end of 2015, approximately 98,400 child refugees were seeking asylum. These children were too young to understand, too frightened. These children bear the weight of war for the rest of their lives. Many are too young to cross roads alone, yet they find themselves crossing borders alone and terrified.
When the darkness appears and the night draws near and the day is past and gone, on the shores I stand, guide my feet, hold my hand, take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home.
School. The kids may not like it, but the importance of it is unbridled. As the famous British statistician Klaus Moser put it, education costs money, but then so does ignorance. We are very fortunate to be living in a country like Canada, where such great an emphasis is placed on education that it is often debated during our provincial elections. As schools pop up day by day across the country, access to secondary and post-secondary education continues to be expanded. And yet, for children in other parts of the world, particularly in war zones, the mere thought of attending class is a dream. Especially in war zones, we see the very infrastructure of education being bombed for no apparent reason. Rather than learning the multiplication tables, we see some children learning how to shoot a gun. However, I see hope when I see strong individuals like Malala Yousafzai who have stood up to the status quo in many of these areas. She grew up in the Swat Valley, a lawless tribal region where old traditions reign supreme over Pakistani law. In 2009, she began writing a blog for the BBC Urdu service under a pseudonym to describe in harrowing detail the fears of her school being attacked by the Taliban, as well as the increasing army activity in the Swat Valley. It was around this time that Malala was featured in a documentary produced for the New York Times, where it revealed her as the author of that BBC blog. And at the age of 15, Malala took a bullet to her head. And yet with sheer perseverance and bravery, she recovered from that attack. And to this day, she continues her activism on the international stage. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it really goes to show that even the simplest thoughts of the importance of education can warrant such brutal treatment in the eyes of the extreme.
When my way grows drear, precious Lord, linger near. When my light is almost gone, hear my cry, hear my call, hold my hand lest I fall. Take my hand, precious Lord, lead me home.
Home is behind, the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread. Through shadow to the edge of night, until the stars are all alight. Then world behind and home ahead. We'll wander back and home to bed. Mist and twilight, cloud and shade, away shall fade, away shall fade. Today we bring the message of peace and hope. In the connected world of today, youth like me are shaping the future. Whether the effects are large or small, every person should make an impact in our community, the world. From Swami's teachings, we learn to respect all religions, and hence Sai youth will never discriminate amongst people based on their religion. They know that the right way to live is through love and respect. I believe that if we cannot imagine a better world is not even possible. Every generation brings unique people who strive to change the world. Sai youth have and can be the most influential in spreading the message of peace and love, and through service make a difference in this troubled world of today.
You know, for all the things that we see in the world today, I really hope that we understand how much Baba has blessed us with health, wealth, and prosperity. And today we're here to offer our thanks and to vow to start counting our blessings.
When among the billows you are tempest-tossed, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, count your blessings, see what I has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, count your many blessings, see what I has done. So amid the conflict, whether great or small, do not be discouraged.